Another example alongside the family's work of innovation in ESF is ITM, the Innovation, Transnationality and Mainstreaming programme. That programme held its celebratory final event recently to mark the fact that it's coming to an end. What do you think we've learned from that part of ESF that's really been about trying to learn lessons and experiment with new things? And particularly, where do you think the added value from working across different countries, across different member states comes?
There've been learning points, I think, from all three parts of the acronym, so on innovation, on transnationally and on mainstreaming. I think we've seen examples of genuine innovation which have then been demonstrated that they work and have been mainstreamed into either local or national policy, which is really, really encouraging. On the transnational side, the evaluation that was carried out last year suggested that in most cases, the majority of projects said that actually the work there has been supportive of their objectives, but not kind of central to and key to. And I think that raises some interesting questions about how you identify what work you want to do and what things you want to test, because you get most value in terms of importing ideas if you start behind the curve of some other member state. If there's member states doing something better than you already are, then you're more likely to be able to pull innovation from them if you're genuinely at the cutting edge of something, which we quite often are in England and in the UK. Then it's obviously more difficult to pull that learning direct, and you're more into the business of sharing what you're doing, but also perhaps getting just general peer support from other countries. So I think there's a genuine scope for learning, but you have to be careful about what topics you pick. My own impression as well about is that the overall approach has been very valuable. So I think having that separate strand has meant that there's a clear home for innovation, and that there will be innovation if you set it up in order to deliver it. So although there are interesting and innovative things happening in the mainstream, it's obviously much more likely to happen here. I also personally like the thematic approach, because it basically makes it less random. So you have a view about what you're interested in at national level, and you then develop projects around those rather than just supporting what might be an interesting local pet project but may not have a national resonance.
Do you think that sort of learning programme with the transnational element with innovation built into it is likely to appear in the new programme?
I genuinely don't know, because to be honest, we've been concentrating on the big ticket items for the future, but my guess is that it makes sense. We'll see what the people continue to say to us about how best to deliver some of these objectives, but I think there is a strength in having it as a separate strand.
The participation of women in the current ESF programme has been something of an issue. We know that take-up's not been as high as had really been hoped. Can you tell us something about the actions that you're taking to try and address that situation over the remaining period?
This is an issue which we are closely monitoring, as you say, and that I guess one of the first things to say is that at this stage in the programme, with the very large volume of people we've already helped, we're simply never going to be able to meet the target across the whole programme period. And some of the difficulty is caused by the policy decisions we took. So to deliberately focus at the height of the recession on newly unemployed people, particularly those on job seekers allowance, meant that there was a larger preponderance of men, and therefore it wasn't an accident, and it's not poor behaviour by providers that has delivered the balance we currently see. But we're also keen to ensure that there isn't another effect here, so that where the target group that the provision is designed to help is roughly 50-50, you'd expect to see that represented in actual starts and actual participation. So we've done a range of things. We've produced good practice materials, we've held workshops, and we're exploring the issues in more depth than we were planning in the evaluation. And we're asking the co-financing organisations to identify individual providers who are not meeting a kind of 51-49 split, and to ask them why not and what they think they can do about it, and develop a plan for that. And all of that is stuff that we've started, but much of it is ongoing in nature. We're beginning also to try and delve into the management information and spot the patterns for the second half of the programme to see whether we can do better in the second half than was achieved in the first.
What sort of results then do you expect from those actions?
It's really hard to judge. I mean, we're committed to doing all we can to drive an improvement. But until we understand the dynamics of exactly what's going on, as I said, I don't think we should tolerate providers who aren't trying hard enough or who are failing for one reason or another, whether it's in the design or the particular offer of their provision, to get women who are available and would be ideal participants. If they're not reaching them, that's a problem. But if it's more that the particular things we're offering or the particular people we're focused on have a different gender split, then that's obviously more difficult for them to do anything about.